Hi, my name is Victoria Scott and it's a real pleasure to be here. I want to show you two things. Firstly, this is the paperback of Patience, my debut novel, which was the Booksellers Association Book of the Month last August, and which is a cracking book club read. It's available in all good bookshops. Waterstones have loads. It would be brilliant if you could read it and leave me a review on Amazon. And on exactly the same day that comes out in paperback, my second novel, Grace, comes out in hardback. Big moment for any author. Second novel. I put my heart and soul into this novel. It is very different to Patience, but still has moments of humour amongst some quite difficult, tricky issues, but a very uplifting ending. And what it's about is there are two women, Michelle and Amelia, and both of them are caught in a battle that neither of them wants for a baby called Grace. Michelle's baby is removed at birth by social services and placed with a view to adoption with Amelia and her husband Piers. And what I hope to do with this book is to show that in situations like these, there are no winners. And I hope that when you read it, you'll realise that it's really hard to pick a side. And I did pick one, I guess, in the end, when you get to read the ending, but I hope you also find that it's an enriching and interesting and enlightening read. And again, please do leave me a review and let me know what you think. So I'm going to read you the prologue from Grace. Just breathe for me. Michelle tried to suck in air, but the deep searing pain that radiated out from her cervix seemed to be blocking the way. Instead, she exhaled, producing a guttural grunt. She closed her eyes to block out the scene in front of her. There were far too many people in the room witnessing her undoing, and focused on the living being inside her instead. She had named her when she had felt her first kick. She had sung to her at bedtime, had read to her in the early hours, and had whispered to her at dawn. They had grown to love each other, and now they were to be parted. Okay, good girl. Now pant, just pant. Michelle took a series of short breaths, keen to please the midwife, who'd been nothing but kind to her since she'd arrived at the hospital almost 10 hours ago. But in truth, part of her wanted to freeze time. If she could stop this, she would. And not just because of the pain. There's the head, you clever girl. And there's baby's shoulder. One more push and she will be out. No, no, Michelle thought. I am not clever. Here she is. You have a beautiful baby girl. The atmosphere in the room had changed. Michelle opened her eyes and saw the figures in the corner of the room were now staring between her spread-eagled legs at the wriggling, bloody infant who was just about to emit her first cry. The midwife rubbed her with a towel and then lifted her up, placing her on Michelle's naked chest. There you go, pet. Well done. You were a champ. Here's your reward. Michelle looked down at the face she had been imagining for months, at her two warm, soft cheeks, her deep blue eyes and quizzical expression, her swollen pink lips. She was astounding. As she took her daughter in, an involuntary cry escaped her mouth before she could stop it. Then that woman arrived beside their bed. Okay, Michelle, we know this is going to be difficult, but you've got a day or two with her before the hearing. I know it's hard, but try to make the most of it. Michelle looked at her. She was a new one, quite young, fresh out of training probably, not someone she'd even got to know, and she knew nothing, not about life or this or her. Nothing. Take her, said Michelle. But you can, I said. Take her. Michelle couldn't bear the pain for 1 minute longer. She wanted it over with now. But Michelle, lovely, take her. I need a kip. Michelle watched as the social worker glanced anxiously at her more senior colleague who was lurking in the shadows and saw the nod of agreement that passed between them. The woman then leaned over and wrapped her arms around the baby, lifting her up like a prize. She watched as the midwife took her from them and swaddled her before handing her back to them without a word. We'll put her in the nursery, the social worker said as they walked towards the door. She'll be there if you want to see her. Michelle didn't reply, but just before the door closed, she called out after them. "Her name is Grace, you hear me?" she shouted. "Grace!" So that's just a little taster of my new book, Grace, which is available from all good bookshops, Waterstones, as I say, Amazon, all your local indies, wherever you get your books. Please buy a copy, and you can also get it in ebook format. And when you read it, please do leave me a review. Thank you. Bye.